Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we had buffering issues. Today we have a reading for you about somebody who is saying, "It was me, I did it, I'm the problem, I'm the villain, I broke the promises that I made, and you should not blame the other person." So I really appreciate whoever I'm reading this King of Cups is saying, don't blame the other person. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to make excuses or say it was because I was drunk or whatever. They're just saying, yeah, blame me. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a good day. I did link in the live chat the first part of this message. It was probably 5 minutes or less. But basically, we've got an investigation or somebody asking questions. It could be in a courtroom, and it's because we have to figure out finances or figure out maybe even who to blame. We did have the twin flame card come out, but mostly because I feel like there's a word on there called pledge. So there's an obligation or responsibility here. And someone regrettably made a decision that they shouldn't have, and they're like willfully admitting, I'm the drama queen. I'm the person who caused the problem here. I know some of you have some questions or you don't really understand why it would get to this point, but here's what happened. So honestly, admitting that they caused an issue in the context of a serious relationship, it could be in a workplace as well, but I think for most of you, this would be a relationship problem. Hey, welcome back, Dana. Welcome back, Rachel. How's it going? If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is in the description box. It's wickedonestarot@gmail.com. And you can also find out how to become a member in the description box. All right, so we've got Adversary, number 29, and Serpent, number 32. Hard work, diligence, progress, challenges, adversity, rebirth, nonconformity, new approaches, and unconventionality. Maybe this person's completely shocking the family and friends around them by being honest. Maybe this is somebody who normally tries to avoid accountability or tries to at least share that responsibility with somebody else. It's coming through as a little bit of a surprise. Maybe because people don't like their partner or the person they're dealing with and they expected the worst of them. Whatever it is, this truth is surprising. It's like, oh, really? I didn't think that's what I would be hearing. I didn't think that's how it went. What else? Knight of Swords in the reverse, Chariot, and the Two of Wands in the reverse. I made a decision too quickly. I didn't really think about it. I was being impulsive or immature, and I got myself into a situation. For some of you, this could be someone who got arrested. Devil, the World, and the Ace of Swords. I let my feelings get away with me, or I wasn't really thinking about the consequences. It's too late for me to change anything now, or there's no use in me lying. I know you can see what happened on social media. They just feel like the only option they have is to be very honest. We have the Seven of Swords in the reverse, Seven of Cups, Ace of Swords. All of these are cards that talk about clarity and confusion and somebody being honest about what has been confusing. Page of Pentacles, sorry, Two of Pentacles in the reverse, Three of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. Interesting. Lots of earth energy. We could be dealing with Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Instability is created because of some sort of action with another person. So I didn't listen to the laws. I stepped outside of regulations or this obligation I had to my romantic partner. I didn't prioritize it or even stepped out on the relationship. With the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles in the upright, this is like I was working to start something new. I got emotionally invested in something else, or I was, interviewing for something different. This is like, sorry. Emperor in the reverse, Three of Cups, Queen of Swords in the reverse. This is like everybody's buddy. I think we've got a person who's quite charming, well-liked, and maybe a little bit less than trustworthy. And people wanted to hear that this was somebody who had not done something wrong, and they're conflicting with that, right? By saying, no, actually, I did the thing. It was me. Whoops. Sorry, guys. But it was them. This is the Fairy Lenormand. Hello, Carrie. Hello, Laura. Yes, exactly. Hello, Grant. What's happening? We have the 12, or number 12, which is the birds, and number 25, the ring. Chatter, gossip, rumors, questions. We all want to know what happened in that relationship. Remember that the ring can talk about a contract. So it could still apply to a job contract or an NDA. But I made a promise, or I signed on the dotted line, and then I went back on whatever it was that I promised I would do. So I feel like I should just like excuse myself from the table. I feel like you've already got all the information that you need to make your decision. So I think they're just sitting there like, let me know what the consequences are. I fully accept that I deserve consequences or some sort of judgment. But I'm not going to, pretend that it was something else or that it was avoidable. I just made the wrong decision. Message of concern in the reverse. So people who were initially wondering if there was some sort of mistake or this is unfair, they're realizing this is someone who made a choice and those consequences have been earned. With the main female in the reverse, this could suggest that there was someone involved that should not have been involved. Third party. And as a result of this choice, we have a major loss. Could impact the finances, but it could be that this major loss is more so about I was with my person or I had a great thing going and then I ruined it. All right, this is the Nightmare Before Christmas. Hello again, Third Eye. Hello again, One Who Possessed. What else do we have? Queen of Candles or Queen of Wands in the reverse. Hermit in the reverse. And the Five of Needles or Five of Swords in the reverse. So I'm going to make a confession. I'm going to tell everyone what really happened. I knew better. I knew that there would probably be an issue for me, but whatever, temptation took over me where I didn't have that self-control. And maybe you know me as somebody who normally does have self-control, but the truth is I didn't at that time. I messed up. 10 of Pentacles or 10 of Presents, 7 of Candles in the reverse, 3 of Candles in the reverse, candles being wands. So I'm going to have to be vulnerable. I'm going to have to put out my wrist to be punished, right? I think they're going to get more than a slap on the wrist, but it's more like a little bit unexpected for people that this person's just willfully saying, this was what happened. I know I shouldn't have, and I deserve whatever you all decide is the right thing, just let me know what it is. Hey, Michael, how's it going? I hope you're having a good day. Hey, Simrex, what's up? I hope you enjoyed your weekend. So we've got the King of Needles, which is the King of Swords in the reverse. We had the Knight of Swords up with the Tarot of the Nile. So I don't know, it's like there was a temptation here to lie, but they decided that it would just kind of prolong the problems and make things worse. Maybe they really just didn't want to cause more trouble for the people that they have disappointed or the people who were counting on them to make the right decision. It could just be a sense of, let me just own it right now because I don't want to argue about it. I don't want it to be a major thing that plays out in a courtroom, that kind of thing. Oh no, what happened? So we've got the Six of Candles, which is the Six of Wands, Judgment, interesting, and the Five of Presents or the Five of Pentacles. So interestingly, and maybe they know this, because they are being forthcoming with the information, because they are accepting responsibility, I do feel like the consequences or the fallout from this is going to be, it's like they're less troublesome than they would have been if this person had tried to lie about it or get out of the consequences. So if this is a judge, the judge is looking at them like, you know what? You did make a mistake, but I appreciate that you are at least owning it. I appreciate that you're being honest and not trying to blame your circumstances or whatever else, right? That's good. Maybe you do deserve it, Michael. Thank you. This is the Earth and Bones Tarot. We've got the Six of Jars or the Six of Cups in the reverse, Death, and the Knight of Petals or Knight of Pentacles in the reverse with Temperance in the reverse. So this chaos, this drama that's been caused, it's because there's been, like a little obstacle or a temptation, and what should have been easy for this person to avoid, they decided to get mixed up in it anyways. It could be an ex that came back around. It could just be that someone was wanting to feel young again, or like they didn't have any responsibilities. But they now look at this selfish decision as something that's just causing them misery or causing them to like rethink how they've approached things altogether. Oh no. Yeah, that's a tricky thing in this line of work, isn't it? I think we've all had friends that ask for advice and then they do something different, or they choose that path that you all know is not right. We all learn in our own time, I suppose, but shout out to those who actually listen to the advice. Obviously not this person. This person was like, well, it's bad, but I'm going to do it anyways. No big deal. Now they're finding out it is a big deal, right? Two of Wicks, which is the Two of Wands, the 10 of Crystals or 10 of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles. So I know I need to basically restart. I know I need to make some plans, go elsewhere, find a new apartment, maybe even get set up with a new job. They're like, I accept that there are endings. I accept that there are, people who don't want to be connected with me or be supportive of me. So we could have a little bit of a cancel culture thing going on here, but I think it's more so somebody who's saying, I understand if you don't want to be my friend. I understand if you don't want to be supportive of me, but I don't need you making it sound like I'm not the problem. I was actually the problem. Six of Petals or Six of Pentacles, Two of Jars in the reverse, Four of Jars in the reverse. Jars being associated with water. So yeah, don't get mad at that other person. Don't try to blame someone else. It's me. I'm the problem. I accept it. So if you want to judge someone, go ahead and judge me, but leave that other person alone. They're pretty chill. They didn't cause any problems. I just went back on my word. So there could be some financial consequences, but at least they're embracing the quickest path forward, which is to actually be honest. This is the Fairy Godmother Oracle. We've got Blossoming. Okay, this is good for them. Maybe it'll start a new chapter where they can be a little bit more genuine. And Dreams. So this is going to help them because they've accepted responsibility. This is going to help them start a new chapter where they're able to avoid some of those pitfalls. And they're also able to let go of some of those things that made it seem easy to fall back into old patterns or to hang out with people that didn't have the best interests in mind. The Gypsy Oracle, we've got Priest in the reverse. I know that I went back on my promises. I know that I broke the rules. I know that this misfortune is of my own making. I could have made a different decision, but I didn't. And I was being selfish or even a little bit cocky, feeling like I could get away with what I was doing and not get caught. There could have been something to do with traveling, like, you were driving somewhere you shouldn't have been, or, there's a bill here that says you were somewhere else. There's some connection to travel and this person being caught, realizing that, maybe you aren't where you said you were, or maybe you're talking to someone that you said you would no longer be talking to. All right, I'm going to take care of Aqua Beauty's personal question, and then I'm going to go eat some breakfast. I was supposed to eat after the last one, and I didn't, you guys. I forgot again. All right, this is the Tarot de la Nuit. So for Aqua Beauty, does the twin flame know that he is Aqua Beauty's twin flame? Does he know about the twin flame connection? Yes, Page of Wands. Although it's at the outset, I do feel like this is not something that he's super well versed in or knows a lot about. So he might be in that kind of like curious stage. But the Sun also talks about enlightenment or having that information. So it's that processing moment, right? I know this now. Maybe that will explain why there's all of this craziness or why this connection is different from the other ones. So, all right, you guys, I love you. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to, and I'll see you on the next reading. Toodles.